The office was bustling as Vine stepped out of the elevator, her heels clicking sharply against the floor. She exuded confidence, her black glasses covering her piercing gaze. Conversation hushed, and all eyes turned to her as she walked, her commanding presence making it impossible to look away. She didn't bother knocking on Jungkook's office door. Instead, she pushed it open, striding inside as though she owned the place. The staff outside exchanged shocked glances, but didn't dare to stop her. The aura she carried was unapproachable. Jungkook, seated behind his massive desk, looked up, surprised at first, but his lips slowly curled up into a smirk. His dark eyes sparkled with a mix of amusement and happiness as he leaned back in his chair, folding his hands in front of him. "You came?" Vine didn't respond immediately. She walked over to the plush couch and sat down gracefully, crossing her legs. Her movements were deliberate, her expression unreadable. She removed her glasses, placing them on the table, and fixed him with a cool stare. "For work." Jungkook chuckled softly, leaning forward as he studied her. There was something about her boldness that always fascinated him. "Work." He stood up and walked over, taking a seat on the opposite couch, mirroring her relaxed posture. He rested his arm on the back of the couch, his gaze never leaving her. "Well, if this is about work, I'm all ears." Vine leaned back, maintaining her confident demeanor, while Jungkook watched her with an intensity that hinted at more than just business on his mind. Jungkook's smile faltered for the briefest moment as Vine's words sank in. She leaned back on the couch, her smirk sharp and taunting, as if she was enjoying the subtle shift in his demeanor. "I came to return your things, but not all of them." She crossed her legs, tilting her head slightly as her eyes bored into his. "I took some as compensation. After all, I lost a lot because of you." Jungkook's jaw tightened for a moment, the playful glint in his eyes dimming slightly, but then his lips curved into a faint smile, one that didn't quite reach his eyes. "What made you take such a decision?" "I thought you were gone for good." Vine leaned forward, resting her elbow on the armrest of the couch, her smirk growing wider. "I took what belonged to me, and I took what should have belonged to me. I don't work unfairly." She paused, letting the weight of her words settle between them before continuing, her tone turning cold. "My first motive was to. Anyway, this wasn't part of the plan." Jung's smile vanished completely as her words cut deep. Memories of their tangled part came rushing back, the betrayals, the games, the moments he let his guards down. He looked away for a moment, a shadow passing over his face, before he turned back to her, his voice quieter now. "But you managed to. Something inside me." Vine's smirk faltered ever so slightly at the vulnerability in his tone, but she quickly masked it, refusing to let him see the faint crack in her armor. Vine stood up, smoothing the wrinkles on her outfit as she prepared to leave. Her calm demeanor had not wavered for a second, her aura still as commanding as when she walked in. "That's all. I leave." She began walking toward the door, but Jungkook's voice stopped her in her track. His tone was low, almost teasing, but there was a hint of something darker beneath it. "You are brave enough to walk into my territory unarmed." She turned around, a smirk playing on her lips as she met his gaze confidently. "Just like how you were so confident I would not. I'm also confident you wouldn't dare." Jungkook stood up as a mischievous smile spread across his face. "But I could always kidnap you and keep you all to myself." Vine's smirk faltered for the briefest moment, caught off guard by his words, but she quickly recovered, her expressions hardening as she raised an eyebrow at him. "You could try, but I'd be more trouble than you can handle." "What if I say I can handle you and all your troubles?" Vine instinctively took a step back, her hand twitching toward the. Jungkook didn't stop, his eyes locked on hers, a smirk tugging at his lips as he advanced. When her back hit the door, she pulled out her and pressed it against his chest, the gold barrel meeting his warmth. "Don't test me." Jungkook chuckled softly, his smirk never faltering. He placed his hands casually in his pockets and leaned in slightly, the space between them growing smaller. "I'm still confident." Vine clenched her jaw, her eyes narrowing. She wanted to retort, but something about the way he spoke, calm and sure, threw her off balance. Frustrated, she turned to leave, lowering the. But before she could take a step, Jungkook's hand shot out, grabbing her wrist and pulling her close. His arm wrapped around her, catching her off guard. "Move away." She tried to push him, but Jungkook tightened his grip, holding her firmly against him. Her heart pounded, though she told herself it was out of anger. He rested his chin near her shoulder, his voice soft but filled with something deeper. I'm ready for the punch later, but let me hold you like this for a moment. Wine froze, her breath hitching as his words sunk in. Her hands pressed against his chest, but she didn't push him away. I don't know if I'll get the chance again. I don't know if I'll get the chance again. Her mind raced, unsure of how to respond. For the first time, she felt a crack in her carefully built walls. Her body betrayed her, unable to move, as if hypnotized by the warmth and strength of his embrace. Jungkook gently nestled his face in the curve of her, his breath fanning her skin, sending an unexpected shiver down her spine. I'm still waiting for a chance for us. You don't have a boyfriend, right? Then why not give me a chance? Wine snapped out of her trance, her mind screaming at her to push him away. She tried, but her body felt weak and conflicted. His words lingered in her ears. Gathering all her strength, she shoved him back, breaking the moment. Jungkook stumbled slightly but regained his footing, stepping back. His gaze shifted to the floor, avoiding her piercing eyes. A flicker of disappointment crossing his face. Not yet, but I'm looking for one. She turned on her heel and walked out of the office, her heels clicking against the floor, leaving Jungkook frozen in place. Her words echoed in his mind, sinking in slowly. He blinked, his eyes widening as realization hit him. As her words fully registered, a grin spread across his face. His calm, stoic demeanor shattered as he jumped in joy, his laughter filling the room. Did she again reject me? But she did not say no. She did not say no. He spun in circles, punching the air with glee, his heart soaring. For the first time in a long while, hope bloomed within him. Wine's words had lit a spark, and he was determined to turn that spark into something more. Is that really our boss? It was a grand gala, a luxurious setting filled with high profile and business elites. Wine was dressed in sleek black dress, exuding authority. It was a business party, a legal business party. She was here for business, but then, care for a dance, we're matching too. Wine turned, seeing Jungkook standing there in a sharp black suit. You must be kidding. Do I look like I'm joking? And why would I dance with you? Because everyone's watching, and I know you won't let them think you are intimidated by me. Wine narrowed her eyes, knowing he was right. With a sigh, she placed her hand in his, letting him lead her onto the dance floor. The moment his hand rested on her, she tensed. Relax, buddy, I won't bite, unless you want me to. Stop calling me that. Why don't you stop calling me Bunny first? Actually, don't. I love every name you used to call me. What about Monkey? I'd love it too. Monkeys are also cute, are not they? You are insufferable. And yet here we are. They moved in sync, their bodies dangerously. It was a game of control, neither wanting to be the first to break eye contact. The tension was thick, but neither of them acknowledged it. If you think this will win me over, you are more delusional than I thought. Who said I was trying to win you over? Maybe I just enjoy having you. Wine didn't reply, the song ended, and she pulled away immediately. Jungkook let her go, but his smirk remained. I'll wait, however long it takes. Wine turned away, leaving him on the dance floor, but for the second time, she felt her heart waver. Vine was on mission dealing with a dangerous rival gang. She had everything under control until she didn't. A small miscalculation led her into an ambush. For the first time in years, she found herself in a situation where she might not escape. Still, she wasn't someone to give up. She kept fighting. Boss, I think we should retreat. I think they got to know that we were coming. Our people are. Tell our men we are retreating. Also, bring injured to our hospital as soon as possible. I want them safe and sound. Before she could react, Masked Man stormed in, taking down her enemies with precise shots. Within seconds, the battlefield was cleared. Wine, breathing heavily, looked up as one of the masked figures stepped closer. He pulled her in a corner. The mask was pulled off, revealing Jungkook smirking as always. Thought I'd let someone else take you down? Not a chance. I didn't need your help. Of course not, but I still enjoyed watching you in action. Wine narrowed her eyes, but before she could snap back, Jungkook took a step closer, his voice softer. You're not alone, Wine, not anymore. Wine felt something stir in her, but she refused to let him see it. If this is your way of impressing me, you're going to have to do better. Challenge accepted. Wine was in her office going through some files when her assistant walked in. holding an expensive looking bouquet. Miss Wine, this just arrived for you. Wine frowned, taking the card attached to the bouquet. It has only two words written in Jungkook's annoyingly neat writing. Miss Me. Unknowingly, Wine smiled but instantly scoffed, tossing the flowers aside. Wine clenched her jaw, feeling her heart betray her for even considering smiling. This was only the beginning, and she knew it. Wine had just sat down at an exclusive restaurant for a business meeting when she noticed someone sliding into the seat across from her. Wine didn't even have to look up. Get lost, Jungkook. Is that any way to greet your future boyfriend? Wine finally met his gaze, unimpressed. Future what? You hate me, little birdie. Wine rolled her eyes, but her business partner was already staring at Jungkook in awe. You two know each other? We go way back, right, sweetheart? Thank you so much, Mr. John. It's a pleasure to have you here. I tried many times to contact your secretary for meetup, but you were busy. Finally, I got a chance to meet you. Miss Kim, is it fine if Mr. John joins us? Wine gritted her teeth, embarrassed. She thought he came for her. Jungkook giggled silently, seeing her reaction. It's fine. That's relief. Wine looked at Jungkook briefly and he winked at her. She was resisting the urge to kick him under the table. He was enjoying this way too much. Vine was in her office reviewing important documents when the door suddenly opened. She didn't even look up. Barging in without permission, how typical. Jungkook walked in casually, locking the door behind him. I figured we were past formalities. Vine finally looked up, raising a brow. What do you want, Jungkook? You. Vine blinked momentarily, thrown off. Be serious. I am. Vine leaned back in her chair, crossing her arms. You do realize that I could still. You could have done that 100 times by now, yet here I am. Every time I see this unreal, mesmerizing beauty of yours. Vine rolled her eyes at the screen talk, but she was internally trying hard not to blush. Why are you here? This file, have it. You were interested in the diamond deal. I got some information about it. It'll help you. You can get in lower price with that. Vine stared at him, searching for deception, but all she saw was sincerity, and that was dangerous. I don't need your help. Of course, I know. I just didn't want my buddy to get tired. Stop calling me that. Can't help it. If you betray me, I won't hesitate next time. I wouldn't expect anything less. For the first time, she didn't walk away first. Jungkook paced around the living room, running his fingers through his hair in frustration. His father sat on the grand leather couch, sipping his coffee, while his mother sat beside him, arms crossed. You are coming to the dinner. End of discussion. I told you I don't want to. Then tell us, do you have someone in mind? Someone serious? Jungkook clenched his jaw, his mind flashing to a certain stubborn, dangerous woman who consumed his thoughts day and night. His heart thumped as he blurted out the name, Kim Wyan. His parents stared at him, then out of nowhere, they burst into laughter. Kim Wyan, the CEO of Kim Enterprises. Jungkook's sweetheart. She doesn't do romance. Her standards are on another level. She's never shown interest in anyone. She's too picky. A perfect match for me. I don't care about anything else. You will care when she ignores you like every other man who tried. Jungkook sighed, rubbing his temple. He wasn't going to win this argument. With no other choice, he agreed to attend the dinner. Jungkook walked toward the restaurant with his family when he suddenly stopped. I forgot my phone. Hurry up, we'll go inside. Jungkook walked back toward the car, grabbed his phone, and turned to head back. Just as he was about to step forward, a black car screeched to a stop in front of him. The tinted window rolled down, revealing a familiar face behind black sunglasses. John, missed me? Jungkook smirked, showing his phone in his pocket. On an unhealthy level. Vine smirked, stepping out of the car, her black dress hugging her curves. Guess what? You're going to have plenty of time to feed that craving. Jungkook's eyes narrowed in confusion until he felt a sharp sting on his neck. His vision blurred, and the last thing he saw before everything went black was Vian's smirking face. Jungkook groaned as his consciousness returned. He blinked, adjusting to the dim light. The familiar scent of expensive leather and vanilla filled his nose. He smirked when he realized where he was. Vian's penthouse. He tried to sit up but felt the cold bite of steel around his wrist. Looking down, he saw he was handcuffed to the bed. I didn't know you had this, Birdie. Vine, standing by the window, turned around, arms crossed. Shut up. Every time you open your mouth, you say something cringe or dirty. And yet you kidnapped me. Should I be honored? He smirked. Vine walked over toward him. So, why did you do it? You're joining hands with my enemy. I can't let that happen. Jungkook smirked, knowing that wasn't the truth. That's cute, but I know the real reason. Wine realized she had slipped. She clenched her jaw and straightened. You can't marry anyone else. Jungkook's smirk grew mischievous. Why is that, birdie? I don't know why, but I can't endure it. Endure it or bear to see me with someone else. Admit it. You like me too. Wine scoffed, looking away. If that's not true, then let me go. Nana is so pretty, just my type. Cute at the same time. I've always wanted a girl like that, and now I have a chance to. Before he could finish, Vine's anger boiled over. She marched toward him and slapped him. Not too hard, but not too soft either. Vine grabbed his jaw, her eyes burning with fury. I dare you to go to someone else. The consequences won't be to your liking. Then show me a demo of consequences so I would know whether I like it or not.